is member spending. Right now it's only at $1,800. A lot of your clubs in this area, the other clubs are averaging about $4,200 per member. So we're only averaging $1,800. So what does that tell me? Most of you, most of our members spend $1,200, the minimum, and that's it, and maybe a little bit more. The golf course maintenance. This has been a topic of discussion. Our cost per hole was this year around $80,000. Next year it's going to be at $78,000. We reduced our payroll by $126,000, and also other cutbacks on the maintenance activities. I'm not going to go into the detail on fertilizer. You can see that. Tennis and fitness. Tennis has a small margin on the clothing. It's only at 17% on merchandise sales of $30,000. Most clubs, $30,000 in a whole year of the tennis shop is pretty low. The goal would eventually to get that up to at least $60,000, but we're still budgeting only about $30,000. In David's budget, you have lessons revenue of at $98,000. In our payroll line, it does include lesson fees, and our operating expenses include lesson fee to outside instructors. Fitness, our training revenues is only $79,000. We do have contractor fees. We have our free classes. We run about 25 free classes. And then we also have our paid classes for your Pilates. Revenue for golf. So for your 2018 budget, we're budgeting $747,000 in cart fees for your members. Guest cart fees, we're looking at $125,000. Merchandise sales is $190,000. Guest green fees is $149,000. Can-Am, we're expecting is $680,000. They believe they could send us $800,000. I believe $680,000 is a good number. Merchandise sales margin, again, is only at 19% because we are on the Mill River program. Operating expenses, we do have payroll, which includes your lesson fees in there, and our cart lease, like I stated earlier, it's $123,000. Maintenance. We get valet and cleaning contracts at $529,000. Our electrics $144,000, and equipment maintenance service contracts is $55,000. I could tell you all that is pretty low. From my past experience being at Aberdeen and other clubs, this is very low, which I'm happy to see. G&A, general and administrative expenses. Insurance is $336,000. Real estate taxes, $315,000. Legal, recurring corporate works, $180,000. Hopefully we'll get that lower. Computer and IT services, $54,000. And our bad debt expense is what we write off is $120,000. Now this is what everybody loves to hear. Before I say that first line, I could tell you when Carrie and I first presented the final budget to the Budget and Finance Committee, I said, what's the breaking point? Are we there yet? And basically they said, yes, we are there. I said, well, I really see we need to have a 15% increase in your dues. And your capital needs to go up to $250. Well, we had marching orders to bring that down. Went back and forth with Mr. Hoffman, and that's why it's been taking us a while to get to where we want to be. So you can see your dues increase is going to be 10%, which is required to get us to a break even. So your dues will be 10% more. Included aggressive assumption for new memberships to keep the dues increase at 10%. So Debbie will be out there selling memberships to the outside, and we're just going to really try to do better on marketing as well, because I believe this year there was absolutely no marketing done at all. The weighted average impact of all dues category mix, equity dues and fees is $11,554. Total dues and fees would be $9,348. Your capital assessment increases to $2,720 from $2,244 to cover reduced members responsible for mortgage payments. So basically what's been happening here, you've been paying $187 a month, and really it should be about $230, $240 a month. So we've been having to take money out of your operating, our operating expenses to pay off our mortgage, which that you usually don't do. Operating assessments for expected 2017 loss is to remain at the $3,840, which is the $320 a month. Proposed payment terms. Dues and fees are going to be baked in together, so your clubhouse fees is going to be part of your dues. It's no longer going to be a monthly fee. It's going to be part of your dues. And it's going to be baked into one amount, paid over 6 months. Our operational assessments will be paid over 6 months. Capital assessments will continue to be paid monthly. Hang on, let me finish, and then we'll go back to your question. Okay? Questions will be at the end. Risks and opportunities. We're aggressive with our assumption on new memberships, and I could tell you that Mr. Hoffman and I battled on that one. His number was a lot higher than mine. And I did not want to see us to be set up to fail. I was adamant about lowering that number and not be so aggressive because times are hard out there. There's a lot of clubs looking for golfers, and so are we. So I want to be a little bit more realistic. Food and beverage, reduce food costs and control hourly payroll costs. We are doing that. You will see that there is not extra staff hanging out around here anymore. We are running skeleton crew. We are lean and mean. And Jason and CJ and Marisol are doing a great job keeping the staff moving and staying on top of everybody. Lean and nice. You're right. Lean and nice. Sorry. We're expecting more catering revenue. The biggest problem with catering that I can see, most weddings will book 1 year in advance. Bar and bar mitzvahs book 2 years in advance. So since we kind of shut down our catering here in the past few months, but before I was here, you lost some revenues. So now it's taking Dolores time to start booking events. She just met with somebody, I think 2 days ago, for a booking in June of 2019. Okay? So catering is going to take some time to build up, but our goal is to start picking up some more weddings and bar and bat mitzvahs, and just maybe some 90th birthday parties, 80th, 70th, maybe some 60th wedding anniversaries. We'd like to see those. So have your events here. Now, the other thing you need to know about catering. Catering is priced appropriately now. We do calculate, we run a P&L before we actually give the client what the fee is. We are costing everything out with our labor in there. We know what it takes to set up the room, what it takes to run the event, and what it takes to break down the event. So our P&L is pretty much done before their event. So it's priced properly. I know some of our members that want to have events here are not happy because the prices have gone up. Well, they have gone up. The club is no longer subsidizing your function for your friends. And we're not subsidizing the outsiders as well anymore. It's now, we're actually going to see some profits in your catering department. G&A, limit legal fees and bad debt expense. As we all know, our legal fees are high. Our goal is to mitigate that, get rid of that. Opportunities. We've spoke about Can-Am, increased revenues. Like Mr. Hamburger already said, well, he said 630,000. It's 680,000, okay? If we didn't have that, we would have to have another shortfall, and there would be another assessment to the membership. My goal for 2018 into 19 is no more assessments. The only way we can get there is by revenues. We need you to use your club. We need you in the dining room, okay? We're also increasing food and beverage revenues, which will lower payroll as a percent to revenues. And that's also going to help with catering. Now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hamburger.
Thank you, Sean. And as you applaud Sean for right now, first of all, when have we had a general manager present the budget? Because it is his budget. We are, those of us that work with him and those of us that go to all events, we are very lucky that Sean is here. And the fact we haven't scared him off yet with all the problems we've had. but Sean's still here. I left something out because I never looked at my notes while I was talking. Something else I wanted to talk about, which is important, and you should understand what happened. During the summer, we had a major cash flow crunch. And we had $1 million cash reserve for capital that we were told shouldn't be touched. It's only available for capital. However, it was either closed down or used that cash, so we went to our counsel, and we were told that according to Florida nonprofit laws, in emergency situations, he saw no problem with us using that capital. Were we happy about it? No. Was it necessary? Yes. Do we have a plan to repay it? Yes. That is part of that assessment that you see coming in this year is going to repay the capital we took out when we had the cash flow crunch over the summer. So we understand what we did. I would do it again because I want to keep this place going. This is our home, and we had no other opportunity, no other choice. So I thought you should be aware of that. Now, you've seen the budget, and none of us on the board, the board, I said, did overwhelmingly pass the budget. We understand it's higher than it's been, but we also understand we can't fool you. You can't fool us. We can't just say, oh, forget the increase. We'll go like old times and we'll just borrow the money from someplace to cover the year. This is what it costs to run a country club, and we're still a country club. We still have to offer services of a country club. Does Sean plan on expanding the services? Before I get all the questions later, the answer is yes. Think about this. Our revenues this October in the dining facilities were higher than last year. Last year we were open up 6 days a week, remember? This year we're only up roughly 4.5, whatever the number is. So Sean is there. Sean has said, if we come, he'll do it. He'll open up more days. The cart is going to come back on the golf course most probably. I think he's in the process of hiring somebody right now. A couple more rangers are coming back to help with the problems we're having in Can-Am. More people use our facilities. The more people who spend the money, the more we're going to be able to do. It's up to us. So if you want to complain about not being open for certain reasons, it's on us. So let's take care of that. But just so you know, I'm not happy this dues increase, so the board has been looking at Plan C, right? GL is Plan B. Plan B is still alive. One has nothing to do with the other. Remember, Plan B, it's a great plan. We eventually get $16 million from GL, 16.5, right? 17. See, I'm wrong with the numbers again. It was a big number. But that money cannot be used